Wow, what a fantastic game. Great result. You went behind twice against the leaders and you found answers every single time.
Yeah, I think that's what we're about as a team. The character, the belief. We hung in sometimes when it's difficult. It's always going to be difficult, but we never know when we're beaten. And like I said, went behind twice, but showed that reaction. Showed a lot better performances, I think. And we got the 3 points.
The winner? Bit fortunate, do you think?
I don't know. He'll tell you different. He'll tell you his shot. But listen, it's gone in. We're big on putting balls in the box, and we've done that. And sometimes you get maybe a bit of luck after. Like I said, he'll probably say he shot, but just buzzing that we got the 3 points.
Yours was absolutely deliberate. Fantastic goal through Christensen. That was a big moment in the game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. I've probably been a bit disappointed with myself that I've had chances that I haven't scored. So today to get back on the score sheet, and then one with Mick a few minutes later, I think I was just a tiny bit of a stretch as much as I could, but still got the goal and I was buzzing.
Yeah, we all said at half-time West Ham had to score next. It was a huge moment, his goal, to get them back on terms, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and probably deserved at the time. Especially, Bowen, he worked his socks off. He's a couple of inches behind a few more goal-scoring opportunities. But he ran the line well, worked hard, won tackles, got back into right positions. And like I say, when the ball falls to him on his left foot the way it did, then, we probably all fancied him. But when players work this hard day in, day out, then, it's nice to see him get a bit of reward. And like I say, I think he thoroughly deserved his goal today.
Yeah, Andy Townsend in commentary was crying out for the ball just to be chipped into the channels, which is often the place, when the team are playing a back three. And Antonio's always a willing runner. And the ball eventually falls to Bowen, and that is some strike. He catches it absolutely clean as a whistle.
David Moyes knew how important that was at the time. So that was a clean strike. Michael always tells me you take any type of goal. That's as a striker. But as a fullback, when you score your first in the Premier League, Arthur Masuaku will. I mean, what an extraordinary goal this is.
It was, yeah. When he first hit it, I thought he's just miskicked it. He's tried to curl it in and he's just miskicked it. But on closer inspection, it takes a slight deflection off Loftus' cheek and obviously wrong foots the goalkeeper. Just goes in on the near post. I mean, some people will blame the keeper.
Would you?
I suppose you've got to blame the keeper. Yeah, you've got to say if a ball goes in, you've got that much time to see it. Then first priority is to keep the ball out the net. I understand that you're probably creeping, you're trying to, anticipate a cross, get in the right position. But the bottom line is you've got to protect your goal at all times, and I'd say you have to apportion some blame to the keeper.
Yeah, and I probably have to agree in a sense that he got quite a bit to it as well. If he's totally wrong-footed and can't get near it, then fair enough. But the fact he's reacted, got enough on it, I think he got enough to probably be able to save it. But look, he is totally wrong-footed, and sometimes these things go in. But in terms of whether it's a shot or cross, normally 9 times out of 10 in games, players' reactions tell you everything. And the fact, if he's meant to shoot there and found the top corner, he's going to be running up and down the pitch. And the fact he wasn't certainly tells me it was a cross.
Well, there was a discussion during that game, wasn't there, as well? Who's the best goalkeeper in the Premier League? And we all went for 3 different goalkeepers. Who said Mendy?
Well, it wasn't me.
It wasn't me either.
You co-hosting this show now?
I'm just saying. Anyway, move on.
The Ballon d'Or, you always go to the superior knowledge.
Oh, dear.
What about Chelsea? I mean, they've only lost 1 all season.
Yeah, well, they, even a game against Watford, they wasn't at their peak, but good teams find a way of winning. And today, to be honest, I think it all boils down to that mistake that led to the penalty. Because before that, they probably would have cruised the game, maybe gone 2-0 up, and it would have been a different result. But I think for me, the biggest thing, if you're going to try and win a Premier League and you score 2 goals and don't win the game, you can't win the Premier League doing that. So whether they performed well enough to win a game or whatever, that's a different conversation. I just think long term, if you score 2 as a team that's going for the league, you can't afford to lose a game.
And they'd only conceded 6 all season until today. 3 went in, Chelsea lose, and we hope...
How big a setback is that today? I mean, the second half, it just seemed to slip out of your grasp.
Yeah, I don't think we did a bad match. It was an okay match. We can win with this performance. Even here, it's tough to play here. We did too many individual mistakes today. We did already against Man United. We did already against Watford, and got punished for it. And if you want to have result on this kind of level, you have to minimize the mistakes. We talked about it before, which did obviously not help. And that's the story.
You've been so organised and disciplined at the back. When you're talking about presenting opportunities to them, I suppose that means the penalty. I mean, does the goalkeeper have to put that in row Z?
Yeah, everybody is involved. I mean, the pass is not the best decision to pass this ball back. We're not like the orientation is not the best, and then we can save it, but decision making is also not the best from Edu in this moment. And then suddenly you concede, even you score a second one and you lead half time. We created a lot of half chances. We have a lot of touches in the box, but could not, like, sometimes you need a bit of luck, maybe with a deflected shot, with a loose ball that falls to our feet. This is what we did not have. And then I think the second goal is a goal that you can concede. But the third one, again, is a strange one. And in general, like the two big chances that in first half is completely our individual mistakes.
Individual errors, he explains today.
Yeah, and glaring ones as well, a couple of them in particular. And, of course, the one he was referring to against Manchester United was another glaring error. That the opponents don't have to do much, really, if you're going to make mistakes that big. So, yeah, he'll need to cut those out. We see it a lot of the time from a lot of teams. I mean, mistakes are part of the game. Normally it takes 2, probably 3 small mistakes for a goal to go in, or it's one huge one. And the problem with Chelsea at the minute, they're making huge mistakes in the last few games, and they're directly causing a goal. So they'll have to, obviously, stop those, and that's what he was referring to.
Yeah, and, you know, at this level, like I say, every player makes mistakes, you know, but there's certain areas in the field that you can take risks and make mistakes and get away with it. But, you know, for a 10-yard pass to a striker, you know, that's through on goal kind of mistake that's unacceptable at nearly any level, let alone for a team and club game. You know, they're going to have to not necessarily work hard, but just concentrate, because they've clearly shown that, you know, they're good enough to win most football matches, and it's probably unlucky to lose today as well, with the mistakes. But, you know, if you want to take the title to the end, then you've got to cut the mistakes out. Simple as that.
His emotions will be in stark contrast to those of the West Ham manager, David Moyes.
It was fortunate, I think we'll all agree with that, but at least he's having a go if you don't take the shot.
I just said to Arthur it was a great cross. So we you know, and look, you know, we lost a goal in the last couple of minutes the other night there. We get a goal pretty late on today to get it. And it was, hey, by the way, it was very fortunate, the goal, so let's not kid ourselves on. But in football, you need a bit of fortune sometimes. And the last few games, we've just lost it a little bit. But today we got it back. And look, we had some brilliant performances, individual performances. But I think overall, I want the team to play much better. And I think we can. And the good thing is we can beat Chelsea and saying that we're not playing well enough. So hopefully that helps us.
I'm sure it will down the line.
Well, yeah, you know, he's probably right. They probably have played better football matches, but I still love what they've done. You know, they were willing to work hard. You know, they put their bodies on the line. You know, they had a lot of setbacks in terms of those, you know, a couple of goals. Went behind a couple of times, a couple of injuries. So it wasn't all plain sailing, but I just like the way they battled on, and while you're always a goal behind, you're always in the game. Indeed.
So the first game of the Premier League weekend goes West Ham's way. So Chelsea lead West Ham 2-1 at half-time in the London derby, and indeed the Glenn Johnson derby today to start the Premier League Saturday. You both feel all goals are avoidable, so let's get straight into the first one. David Moyes was bitterly disappointed with the defending.
No, he was. And like you say, you know, any goal you can sort of dissect and find an error somewhere. But, you know, for this sort of angle, defending any corner, you have to be side on. You have to be able to see that your man and the delivery. But unfortunately for Antonio, he's all about the player here, and he's already the wrong side of him. But if he wants to take the tactic of blocking the man, then you at least have to get in the line of his run and block him. But Antonio just, you know, he gets under the ball and it doesn't do either in the end.
Yeah, he only looks at the ball in the last second, doesn't he? He has no idea where the ball is. And you're either one or the other, as Glenn says. You're either blocking someone, in which case you don't really look at the ball, or you're actually going to attack the ball and watch the ball the whole way through. He does a bit of both, but probably in the wrong order. And that's why, you know, he loses his man and Thiago Silva gets the goal.
That's the first goal that West Ham have conceded from a corner in the Premier League this season. Then they drew level. What was Jorginho thinking?
Well, only he will know. I mean, we could see it, couldn't we? He was right in the middle of our screens as it happened. Sold his keeper short. His goalkeeper, I think he's expecting Bowen to come in and tackle him, which is why he's almost protecting the ball and takes a touch off his back foot. And then when he doesn't feel that contact, he's almost got it stuck under his foot now. Now he's got another problem. Tries to take it away from danger, away from the goal. Bowen almost reads it, gets there in front of him, and it's almost an inevitability when he brings him down, a catalogue of errors.
Literally. And even, there's literally 3 errors there in the space of 10 seconds, because when Mendy has the second touch, now he knows he's going away from goal and the players are coming back. He doesn't really need to be desperate to make this foul. You could just let him go away from the goal and the players will get back in time anyway. But once he's committed to that slide tackle to try and clear the danger, then obviously it's going to get worse and worse and worse.
Now, in the lead up to the penalty, you fullbacks, have you got a union, or what's Reece James doing here with Lanzini?
Well, I think he's just trying to get into his head. We've seen it all before. People like scuffing up the penalty spots and trying to get into his ear hole, bit of mental games, but. Look, and Antonio sees it, tries to diffuse the situation, but Lanzini's super cool. He gives Reece a couple of taps as if to say, don't worry about this, I'm going to score, and he doesn't disappoint. And he sends the keeper the wrong way and whips into the far corner, and even if the keeper goes the right way, you're not saving that.
Yeah, and then gives him a little shoulder charge for good measure. And rightly so, you can't really have a go there, and then you've got more important priorities in the forefront of your mind, scoring the penalty. But once the goal goes in, all of a sudden you can let off a bit of steam.
Now, we had a conversation at the weekend about side foot finishes. You don't have to lace the ball all the time. So how good was Mason Mounts just before half-time?
It's the right choice straight away. I think you should be rarely volleying with your laces, personally. I think you get an awful lot of power with the side of your foot, and you get 10 times more control with it as well. You can see Mason Mount there. It's quite a far way out. It's a ball from Ziyech, which is quite a floaty ball. Me and Glenn were wondering, actually, how's that ball got there? It's floaty in the air, and he seems to have all the time in the world. But then, Glenn, we spotted something. Notwithstanding a brilliant finish, but we spotted something as to why the Chelsea man had so much time.
Yeah, and you literally see the 40-yard pass, and Ziyech tried to ping it, so that the Mount would get plenty of time and space. But you see here, you look up, the centre-halves are thinking, where's our fullback? And we all know Ben Johnson's a quick player, but in this motion, he's just jogging. The floaty ball comes in, and obviously we know that he's quick enough to recover from that run. But as it shows at the end there, he's clearly pulled his hamstring and done it properly, high up earlier in the play. And as we know better than anyone, if you've done your hammy properly, you certainly can't sprint.
Yeah, you can see right the way through that action, he's just not at top speed, and Julie walks straight off after that goal. It's a cruel blow, really, that, because he definitely would have got back in time. He gave Mason Mount all the time he needed to fantastic finish in the end.
Yep, Mason Mount has scored more goals under Thomas Tuchel than any other Chelsea player, and that goal